Good evening. It is the 14th day of November 2020. It is a Saturday evening. And as always, I am just simply alone by myself, here at home. And I am sitting in my wheelchair, wearing nothing but a t-shirt and my diaper. That earlier today I did get taken out to go grocery shopping by one of my church friends, which is good. The only places I went today were taken out to today was just the uh, the bank to get some money, the dairy post office to mail off bill payments, then the Walmart to do most all my shopping, and then the Blue Seal Feed livestock and pet store supply store. To purchase food for my two guinea pigs. On the kitchen countertop behind me. Today, the Saturday is supposed to be a day for was it watching cartoons, but uh, today I haven't really felt like watching cartoons. I have watched some of the evening news, and right now was it, of course, my time was at uh, Eastern U.S. Eastern United States Standard Time. That on one of the Pluto TV channels, well, video streaming service channels are showing the movie Star Trek Seven with the Star Trek Generations. So I watched some of that, but of course I know the plot by heart, anyways. Uh, I am going to admit that uh, I am feeling bored as a 62-year-old, that uh, totally incontinent, diaper clad, senior citizen with cerebral palsy and autism, functional level 1. That there are times, when I do get uh, rather bored. 'Cause there's only so much that one can take and do, with it indoors, all alone by myself, with it, and being 100% socially isolated due to this ongoing COVID-19 virus pandemic, which is not even abating. And since the election, about over a week and a half ago, that the number of the people cases of COVID-19 virus infection have been, that shall we say, skyrocketing extremely severely. Let me reach down to the floor for a second. Other than food, as it and other than food today for myself and my guinea pig companions, the only thing I blew my money on was just to get a children's toy, get myself a toy truck for a for a for a for a toddler, for myself, for my own was it adult baby regression space here in my living room. I keep most of all my toys here. I have was it Matchbox and Hot Wheels toy cars and trucks. I have a container of Mega Blocks. I have two Mega Blocks vehicles. The Mega Blocks cement mixer I purchased this week, today, and the Mega Blocks was a little dump truck, that I purchased with it several weeks ago. I also have all my Fisher Price little people vehicles. Was it also nearby on the floor. Plus, I have in my, is it briefcase that I use for toy storage. As I have my entire, uh, arsenal of Nerf toy guns. That that with me as a person on the autism spectrum, and also on the cerebral palsy, physical disability spectrum, I do have comorbid unipolar depression, which is in remission. But, since I have a psychiatric history, I myself am not allowed to have any real weapons. I'm only allowed to have just my Nerf toy guns that will never hurt anybody. And as I uh, uploaded in an earlier video is that I am going to admit that I am an adult baby slash little, where I regress. Lots of times I regress to being only like 2 to 3 years old. That that said, I do not. I just regress totally alone by myself as an adult baby. Here alone at home. With it, and I just sit, get myself down out of my out of this wheelchair to take and down onto the floor. Where as a person with cerebral palsy, that I was a knuckle walk on my hands and crawl better than I can walk. That, and I spent a lot of times on all fours, crawling like a baby. Not just to play with my toys, or to just crawl over to where I have over on this side of my living room. That on the south side, that end is where I have an adult plastic pail potty chair. Yes, a medical potty chair for an adult. That I did decorate in a style that is mentally appropriate for a toddler. With the stickers of vehicles with little with baby animals driving them, to take and to make it to make my adult potty chair, my adult medical potty chair, not look like it's a hospital potty chair, but a bigger version of a toddler's potty chair. And essentially, with it as an adult baby, with it, I am actually really 100% medically incontinent. I have with it both the elderly male benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is common in us older adult men. Plus, I also have neurogenic bladder and neurogenic bowel, which affects my being able to uh, notice when I'm voiding, emptying my bladder or my bowels, that and I cannot, and totally unable to hold back, with it, hold back with it, pee pee and poo poo. Yes, I'm 62 years old, and as a person on the autism spectrum, I have always, you know, that used used the words pee pee and poo poo all my life, even though I have learned how to say the filthy words, the S word, and the P word for was it the filthy letter P word for urine or pee pee. Of course, I'm not going to deny it. That all my life I have been rather childlike, especially in adulthood, and I am more comfortable as a person, with it being an adult baby and, you know, living like a, that living as a small child than I have been as an adult. But yet, with it, I cannot do the so-called 24/7 adult baby lifestyle, that some adult babies do, with it. Those of them that have money and who have, that have the money to take and buy all kinds of fancy things like an adult-sized high-railed crib, and with an adult-sized or one of those adult-sized changing tables, or an adult-sized high chair. That I just have to make do with what I have. With it, I just have this wheelchair which I sit in for like usually about uh, 13 hours a day. With it, even though I do stand and walk. Indoors, I spend most of all my time in this wheelchair, except when I need to just push myself up and out of this wheelchair to take and stand on my stand, quite physically crouched on my spastic cerebral palsy affected legs. When I'm either at the when I'm in my kitchen and I have to with a do thing perform adult tasks. The adult tasks like doing with it uh, loading and unloading my dishwasher machine, doing my clothes, washing, drying my clothes and my bedding. With it cooking, cooking meals for myself, and my kitchen table is set up, with it where I can just with it, with it at one end of the table. I have it set at my kitchen table set up that I can just simply wheel my wheelchair right up to it, lock the wheel brake, so I don't do not roll, and I can sit at my table, kitchen table to eat, or sit there to with it do the regular adult tasks of paying my bills, you know that which is important. As I said, and I will note that that I do know quite a few others who are on the autism spectrum and who are on the cerebral palsy disability spectrum who are also psychological littles slash adult babies. That I am not the only one in the autism and cerebral palsy disability communities who is into it, who was it, uh, eh, who are pretty much asexual infantilists. And yes, I use the word asexual to describe myself. Not that I do not have adult sexual orientations or with it, attractions, but for the most part, as it, I am not very, with it, shall I say, strongly attracted to either one sex or the other. I mostly, as I said, just totally keep to myself, that, and just sort of being alone, not bothering anybody, and just, that just, that going about my days, that switching between my adult self and my regressed little self. So, anyways, that's all I have to say, for my video weblog today. Because I haven't made one, for a little bit. I'll just simply sign off.